All right, my friends, it's time for us to take another walk down memory lane and take a look at an interesting decade, the 2010s. I'm conflicted because on the one hand, the 2010s clearly absolutely the corniest decade of all time, right? This is the decade that gave us the finger mustache tattoos and Lumineers and bacon on everything. It's the decade that gave us Gangnam Style and Thrift Shop. Without a doubt, probably the corniest decade in human history. And yet, at the same time, I miss it. Don't you? Don't you miss it? Don't you miss Vine and Tumblr and iOS 6? That skeuomorphic design in iOS. So like the Books app in iOS looked like a fucking bookshelf. I miss that. I miss the comfort of iOS 6. The decade before problems, exactly. The 2010s were naive and optimistic when iPhones still had headphone jacks, the OG YouTube icon, exactly. So I say, bring me back. Take me back to 2013. It's all I want out of life. Dear Lord, please, I'd like to go to sleep tonight. And when I wake up tomorrow, it's 2013. That's all I want. Flappy Bird, exactly. I just want to wake up. It's 2013, and I'm going to play Flappy Bird on my iPhone 5. That's all I want. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the music of the 2010s, and we'll ask ourselves if it held up or not. And also, I wanted to mention something new that I'm doing, which is a YouTube coaching program. If you're an individual creator or you're a company, really anybody that wants to grow on YouTube, this is for you. Basically, this is a way to download everything that I have learned about YouTube over the past 7 years from my brain into yours. There's a pretty common set of challenges that pretty much everybody runs into on YouTube. I've run into pretty much all of them. And with this coaching program, I can help you get past those a lot faster than I did figuring it out on my own. For example, in my opinion, the single most important thing for any channel is figuring out the right niche for your content. Like, what should you focus on and how do you talk about it? For example, for me on this channel, once I found that, I went from getting, you know, a couple hundred views a video to tens of thousands of views per video, literally almost overnight. You can see it right here. And also the right approach to things like titles and thumbnails and how to structure your videos to keep people's attention. All that stuff that took me years to figure out on my own through trial and error. I just want to help you speed run all of that. I am super excited about this, and I'm going to be putting a lot of time and energy into it over the course of the year. And if you want to find out more about it, you can just hit the link in the description of this video. First up, let's take a look at Centuries by Fall Out Boy from 2014 from their album American Beauty / American Psycho. Let's see. Exactly, the Farmville decade. Want to check out the new Fall Out Boy song? Will you play Farmville on Facebook? How about that? I mean, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. The 2010s, really the decade of like the corny upbeat anthem, right? It's like everything had to be this. The car commercial anthem. Makes me want to download Candy Crush again and Angry. Exactly. Hey, guys, did you hear that they're making an Angry Birds movie? Step into the new Honda Odyssey and let the road guide your future. Right? It works. It works. The only song from a mid-2000s mall emo band with over 1 billion Spotify streams. Interesting. A Kia Soul zipping through the streets of San Francisco with this song in the background. It's interesting how the 2010s like might be the most commercial friendly decade of music, right? Probably the only era of music that could give it a run for its money in terms of being commercial friendly would be maybe the 2000s garage rock revival stuff like The Strokes and Jet and The Hives. All those songs that like instantly were in like car commercials and iPhone, you know, the iPod commercials and shit. Like the day they came out, they didn't wait 8 years. Yeah, the music supervisor's wet dream era. I feel like I'm about to get an amazing offer on a credit card with 0% APR for the first 12 months and up to 5% cash back on 2 categories of your choice. I was on the fence about taking you up on this new Capital One Visa, but then the sounds of Fall Out Boy Centuries soared through my speakers, and I thought, you know what? I'll take it. Yeah, you get a free iPod Touch. Exactly. Sign up for the new Capital One Visa and get a free iPod Touch with the new Fall Out Boy album preloaded on it. Free. Can't beat that. I don't know. It's a gloriously commercial era for music, and I'm on board with it. Potentially the corniest era in music, but there's something about it. It's just, I don't know. It's comforting, isn't it? Does it hold up? No. The song is not good, but there's something about it that makes me still want to listen to it because it reminds me of a simpler time when America was still innocent. Yeah, when America still had its innocence. That's what it reminds me of. Next song we have, going back a few years, Like a G6 by Far East Movement featuring Cataracts and Dev, which came out in 2010. It's interesting. One of the things they say about decades is that the next decade doesn't really start until like 3 or 4 years into that decade, right? So like if you look at stuff from 1981, it looks like the 70s. The stuff we think of as the 80s doesn't really start until like 83 or 84. And so this song from 2010, I feel like this might be the most late 2000s song of all time, even though it's from 2010. Like, look at this, and you will not believe that this is from the 2010s. This looks like the most 2007 thing ever made. Look at this. The to-do list written in the Notes app for iOS 6 on our iPad 1. Slip and scissor in my ride. Feeling so fly, like a G6, like a G6, like a G. Look how awkward she is. She actually seems like a nice person, and she has some songs that are pretty good, but this is like, oh, here's what this reminds me of. This reminds me of if the people from work made a music video, you know, for, I don't know, Christmas or something like that. Instead of doing their jobs, they spent like a week making their own music video. And this is like the office manager, you know, who decided she wanted to be the star of the video. And you're like, oh my God, this is the corniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm cringing so hard. Like, I used to like you. I used to think you were a cool person. But after I watched your fucking cringe ass homemade music video that you did for Like a G6, I'll never be able to look at you the same again. That's what this reminds me of. That's her. It's brutal. It's a lot of cringe. I know. I'm sorry. Listen, I should have had a cringe warning. Okay. So I want to make a product that's like Narcan for cringe. Narcan is the product that you give people, like if someone has an overdose on opiates, you squirt it up their nose and it gets rid of their overdose and brings them back to life from an opiate overdose. I want that, but for cringe. And I feel like we're going to need that. If you don't have your cringe Narcan out now, I would highly suggest that you get it out because you're going to need it by the end of this video. Now give me 2 more so much swag. That's right. Can you believe this is from the 2010s? My favorite thing is that nobody in this video is even slightly cool. Oh, the skull candy earbuds. Good catch. Nobody in this video is even a little bit cool. I am cooler than these people, and there's nothing cool about me. The era in which they could trick you into thinking that they were cool. This video is like the guys that peaked in high school. That is exactly what this is. Yeah, girls who get wasted off 2 margaritas. Yeah, that's what this is. This is for, like, every friend group has, like, the lightweight, homely virgin that goes out with them. And, oh, gotta say, look at this. Here's a remnant of the 2000s here. Look at this girl's tramp stamp. Look at that. What does this say? Only time will tell. Powerful tramp stamp. Anyway, every friend group of girls has the lightweight, homely virgin that goes out with them that kind of ruins the night for everyone. Yeah, if she's pre-gaming to this song, you know you're going to be babysitting. She's the one that goes out with all her friends that are a lot better looking than her and way cooler than her. She drinks a little bit too much pre-gaming, and so she's like halfway shit-faced by like 9:30 p.m. before they even get out really. And so by the time you run into them at the club, she's already like taking up everybody's attention. She's like, stay away from my friends. My friends do not want to go home with you. My friends are with me and they're not going anywhere with you. So you stay away from us. And it's like 9:30 and you're like, oh my God. Ugh. The one that cock blocks you and all her friends and ends up like puking by like 10:30 p.m. and somebody's got to, you know, get in a cab with her and take her home and clean up her puke. Just ruins the fucking night for everybody. That's what this song reminds me of, is that girl. She's the one that's pre-gaming to this song, ruins everybody's night by being the homely virgin that can't drink. Yeah, the cock block friend. Man, listen, if you have that friend, ditch her. That's my advice. If you got like the homely virgin that can't hold her liquor, that's going to cock block everybody, ditch her. Just be like, oh yeah, we're going to meet you there, and then go somewhere else. And then be like, oh, what, Melanie, what happened? We didn't see you. That's weird. We were looking for you all night. We couldn't find you. Sorry, Melanie. We had to do what we had to do. Speaking of corny, how about this? One of the absolute corniest songs of all time. Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO. Can you believe, once again, can you believe this song came out in 2011? Look at this. I thought for sure this was from like 2008. Can you believe it? 2011, we were still doing this. Again. Party rockers in the house tonight, you better have your cringe Narcan out, because if you haven't received a lethal dose of cringe yet, you definitely will by the end of this video. The Bohemian Rhapsody of the 2010s. They played this on my school bus every day.
Shake that.
What are their names? Like Red Foo, and what's the other guy's name? Soul Blue or something like that. Here's what's crazy. You may know this, but these guys are related. This guy here, the tall guy with the big hair, is the uncle of this other guy. This is real. And what's crazy is, do you know how old he was? This dude was like 37 when they did this song. Like, can you imagine being 37 years old and doing this? Can you imagine? I'm 37 years old and I make Party Rock Anthem with my nephew. Red Foo and Sky Blue. That's what it is. In the cut, party rock. Oh, I agree with this. 2011 was the 2004 of the 2010s. I gotta say, is this good? No, it's absolutely horrible. But there's something about it that I almost like, again, just because it's awful. But can you imagine a time when America was this pure and innocent? Can you imagine a time in which we accepted this? Like, we're such an innocent, naive, sweet people that we were okay with this, that we accepted it. And I want to go back to that time. Everyone is so cynical now. You know, every song is about eating ass and shooting people. I want to go back to a simpler time. I just want to put Party Rock Anthem on my iPod Touch and go play some Farmville. That's all I want. Take me back. I just want to party rock. That's all I want. Does it hold up? No, it does not. And lastly, perhaps one of the legitimately one of the defining songs of the current era of music, because I believe that this was the first song to really blow up because of TikTok, right? This was the first song that put TikTok on the map for a lot of people, I think. And I actually think it's great. I legitimately do. I thought this was a troll for, it is a troll. It is a troll. I love this song. Great beat. I also like, you know, the first line, I got the horses in the back, and he made up some bullshit about how he grew up on a farm or some shit like that. And so for a minute, people thought he actually was country. Obviously, totally wrong, because in reality, Lil Nas X, before he was Lil Nas X, ran like a Nicki Minaj stan account on Twitter. So really, nothing country at all about Lil Nas X. But I will say, this is one of my favorite tweets of all time. So he came out as gay shortly after this. Wow, man, last year I was sleeping on my sister's floor, had no money, struggling to get plays on my music, suffering from daily headaches. Now I'm gay. One of the best tweets of all time. Riding on a horse, the master of Twitter. I legitimately think this song is great. Yeah, I think it's cool. He's a master of course. He's a huge troll. He's awesome. The other thing that I think is cool is this song went to #1 on the country charts, but everyone said that it wasn't country, you know, and you can guess why people didn't want to put it on the country charts. Then Billy Ray Cyrus, he heard about this and he came along and said, well, what if I come on the song? What if I do a version of this? Then is it a country song? Can it make it onto the country charts if I come on? So he did, and then they put it back on the country charts, and I think that's like legitimately really cool that he did that. I think it made Billy Ray Cyrus relevant again in a lot of ways, and I think it really kind of exposed the country industry for, let's just say, perhaps not being a huge fan of black people.
No stress, I've been through all that. I'm like a Marlboro man, so I keep going back.
I'm like the Marlboro man. I like that. I want to hear more songs with cigarette imagery. How about that? That's how you know it's real country, when they drop a verse about the Marlboro man. Still a bummer that he needed a white savior. It is. It's very unfortunate that he needed a white savior, but I still think it's cool that he did it. And I think this is a good song. I like Lil Nas X. I would like to be friends with Lil Nas X. He seems like a cool guy to me. I'm a fan. One of the best tweets of all time. This is the song that put TikTok on the map as sort of the platform that establishes hits, right? This is like anointed TikTok as the kingmakers of music. I think it's pretty significant for that reason. I think it's a banger. I'm a fan of Lil Nas X. I say it holds up. That's what I think. And that does it for this edition of the worst songs of the 2010s. Join us next time for, I don't know. I feel like there's so much we didn't even get into. My friends are with me, and they're not going anywhere with you, so you stay away from us.